Warning, this podcast does not contain a single vampire.
It did contain some sucking.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the SC.TV podcast for Scream Season 2, Episode 7, Let the Right One In. The reason why I mentioned vampires is that is a vampire movie. So
It's a Swedish.
There's a Swedish one. There was an English remake.
Yes.
They're both really good, actually, so watch them if you have
But
not.
the title still makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Letting the right people in.
For sure. But yeah, going into this episode, I think it was safe to say that I kind of called it, with last week. I was like, they're putting too much emphasis on Miss Lang.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, well, the only one that knows about, Mr. Branson is Brooke and Miss Lang about the cheating thing, it's like Brooke led him there, so Miss Lang could have been tracking, and it's like, oh, it's like all fingers are pointing to Miss Lang, and, that's all fingers except for Mr. Branson's because he's missing some, but,
Because he was handsy.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think it's safe to say she's ruled out, as even being an accomplice at this point.
Well, being that she's almost dead, or maybe we'll see future being dead.
Yeah. Well, I just mean, in general, even being an accomplice, she seemed genuinely shocked that there was somebody calling her, and that whole thing, so I don't think she's involved in any way, shape, or form.
But at this present time, she's not dead, and we do know it wouldn't be the first time that they faked to almost kill someone that would thus been the accomplice.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's another accomplice.
There could be, because don't forget, in Scream 1, there were 2 killers. Scream 2, there were 2 killers. Scream 3, there was 1 killer. Scream 4, there was 2.
Right.
So, genuinely, there's 2. There's always 2, and technically, Season 1, Piper had an accomplice. So, whoever this is somebody that's been around since the first season helping Piper. So this is not just somebody picking up where Piper left off. This is someone who was helping Piper.
Actually helping Piper.
Yeah.
Not what we know of what Audrey has done.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of, it seems Emma's mom and Sheriff Acosta know exactly what's up.
Okay, so at this part, I was like, what the hell? I literally was going, what the fuck is going on? Because that was some whole other side plot that's like, okay, so you have been shady anyway. Now you're like super shady with her mom.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're definitely hiding something, and Emma's mom's like, no, it can't be, and he's like, look at the house that we're in.
This is what we done, and I'm like, the fuck did you do?
Yeah, so I'm just curious, like, where is this going? Is this the brother or whatever? What's his
Brandon. It's
Brandon
Thomas,
James's brother. Like they mentioned, he had a
Thomas
brother, right?
Something? Tyler or something?
Tyler.
I thought it was started with a T.
Yeah, something. Yeah. So, there's that. That's the path it's leading down for me, anyway. If Tyler was the brother, it's got to be an older person, and literally nobody on the show, in the male, an older male. I can't think of anybody it would be, other than the mayor. But that doesn't. They would know.
I don't think so. Like I really don't think. I don't know. Yeah. I think if it's possible, maybe it's a character we haven't seen yet. I don't.
Okay. They said Brandon was inbred, correct? That's why he looks.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
it was something.
Maybe his brother is also his father.
Could be. It very well could be. But still, like, we don't have any clues of who this person could be. Right? Like, I can't think of a single
character. If that's the case, that would mean that the brother had to be really a lot older.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It has to be an older person. It's got to be somebody around, the sheriff or Emma's mother's age.
Unless it's another family member that
Or yeah, no, because if it was the brother, yeah, it would have to be much older than that. So
Yeah, I'm thinking that maybe. We know nothing. We really don't know that much about the brother. We don't even know. Maybe the brother was just as deformed as Brandon James was.
I think he's fine. To be honest, I don't
Yeah.
think he's deformed.
Maybe.
Because they never mentioned that deformed brothers, had a hard time. Like, there was literally just him that got picked on. It's like the brother
Okay.
Tyler seemed like he was looking out for his brother kind of thing. So
Well, apparently they did something. So
yeah, they definitely did. It's gonna be interesting to figure out exactly what that is, and it's like Emma's mother just doesn't learn. Like she
oh,
Emma Emma brought her to the house and was like, "Look, there's somebody here that had these pictures." It's like this particular house with everything that's going on, and Emma just happened to pick it out. Like she can't be going crazy at that point, So when the mother went there back in episode 1 or 2 or whatever it was with her, it was like this should throw some red flags that maybe you should come out and fucking say something other than keeping your mouth shut where it's gotten you absolutely nowhere this entire
She
time.
doesn't want to hurt Emma. She just wants to protect her from the bad things.
blah 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 blah. At this point, I think it's a bunch of bull.
I want her mother to die. I'm sorry. I've never wanted a character on a show to die more than Emma's mother.
She is just fucked up left and right. Like, this just she's shady. She's freaking shady.
Even Emma's father, who has all kinds of things wrong with him, I like him better than I like Emma's mother.
Well, he's
Okay.
come clean.
He almost killed a dude. But you know
Sure.
what? He took pride in killing that dude, and he told her, I almost killed that dude.
Yeah. I mean, at least he's come forward to Emma and been like, look, I fucked up. I beat up your mother. Like, stuff that, like, you don't want to hear. But he told her, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I have more respect for her father, even through the things that he's done, because he's trying to work through them. And he's being open and honest about it. Maybe he wasn't at the time when it happened, which, we could say that, oh, maybe in 10 years Emma's mother will come and tell Emma things that she was hiding. That could be the case, but at least now, in the moment, he's trying. And her, now, in the moment, is completely failing. And she's aggravating the hell out of me.
I'm truly wanting to know. I got like this weird feeling in the back of my head that Emma's dad is not really her dad.
Oh.
It's possible.
It's just like this feeling that I got going on that this might be the case of why there's some other issues going on right now.
You think Tyler's your father?
Maybe that's it's leaning towards this other. You got these pictures. Obviously, we have this. This is what leads me even more this direction thinking this. It's because we found this picture, and it's obviously I believe the child is Emma, and the face is scribbled out of whoever who's with her. Now we know that you said
her real father, maybe.
And then they go on saying what we've done. I'm like, well, what the fuck did you do?
Maybe the reason why it was scratched out, maybe if the case is that the father that we have seen is not her real father, maybe her father is the one who found that picture, and that wasn't him in the picture, so that's why he scribbled it out.
Because it was who she believes is her dad. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just getting this. It's just this feeling.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know, and then you have like Emma, and like Emma last episode, like the whole thing where she was like, "Oh, I didn't lie to you, Karen. I changed my mind." I'm like, Emma, you're fucking taking after your mother at this point, and it's just like really getting me more mad, But and then this episode, she kind of goes out on a date with Eli, Karen's cousin, and it's just like that whole situation is just messed up to begin with.
I support this. I don't like Eli very much, but I like him more than I like Kieran.
Yeah, I guess.
For whatever reason, I know Eli's a shady bitch, but I trust him more than I trust Kieran.
That's true, and like Eli was one of my number one suspects, going into this and stuff like that. But if you look at Eli, and he's like me, he's scrawny, he's scrawny little kid. He does not have the power to force Miss Lang down the stairs. Yeah, maybe he had momentum going with him, but I just don't see him overpowering Miss Lang like that.
But she just like drop kicked him
Right.
in the beginning.
Yes, Miss Lang. Yes.
And then she goes and she like does a little side kick swipe and flips him up onto the ground, and then he gets up and like chases her down. But she fought. She's the first one that actually like tried to beat the living crap out of him.
Yeah. Yeah, which you typically see in the movies is Sydney beating the shit out of the killer and like running away and different things like that. So, in this, it's nice to see somebody fighting back for once. But apparently she's still breathing, so there's a chance that she's not dead yet, and if she's not dead, then she'll die later. But yeah.
Or like I said, she's actually an accomplice, and that's why she's not dead.
I don't know. That was a lot of blood. I don't see the accomplice doing that to her.
Yeah.
Maybe
she's still doing some shit. You see all that paperwork she had around.
Right, and like I said, I think she's writing a book.
Yeah, I am farther down that book thought.
Two people writing a book.
Yeah. Well.
How to kill people.
I don't consider a graphic novel a book, but I mean technically it is. I look at it more as a comic, but it's like an advanced comic book, and I wouldn't exactly call a comic book a book, even though it's got the word book in it. When I think of book, I think of an actual novel that you're gonna sit down and take like
with no pictures.
6 months to read. Whereas a graphic novel...
What books are you reading?
Who takes 6 months to read a novel?
I'm exaggerating. Where a comic book or a graphic novel, you're going to finish in, maybe a day, a couple hours, So, I don't know.
2 days tops for a novel.
Well, people seem to be interested.
2 days tops for a novel if you're going to sit down and take your entire day to do it. But most people will read a chapter a night before bed. So... I'm saying that you can read an entire comic book a night before bed in the amount of time that it takes a person to read a chapter. That's my point.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I don't know. And you have Eli. Like, I'm like, okay, so they're in that house, right? And then there's the bodies upstairs, and Eli's being super shady and all that. And I'm like, oh, it's Eli. They're telling us way too soon. But then, we see Ghostface running around outside the house and they burn it down. And I'm just like, okay. So this to me has eliminated Eli as a suspect. Like,
maybe not.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, the whole being more than one person helping. But he is weird. I will give you the weird. I mean, right in the beginning where he was like in someone else's house and he was like making toast.
Somebody else. Well, oh yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, when he was in there in the beginning, he was making toast, and then he like went to the bedroom and like stood there with glasses on there with like the butter knife in his hand.
All staring at them in bed. It's like, what are you doing?
So then he kind of explained it. He explained it later, though.
Yeah, he explained, and to me, honestly, that kind of sounds a little bit fun.
Yeah, that would be something.
Like. I'm not saying to go stand and loom over their bed with a butter knife, or whatever he was, it wasn't a butter knife, but...
It was actually like a steak knife.
Yeah, but, at the same point, like, that'd be kind of cool to pretend you're somebody else, and I don't know. I wouldn't break into somebody's house to do it, but, just go somewhere. Like, think of it. Drive like, an hour in a direction that, you don't go to. Like a complete different area, somewhere you never go, and just pretend to be somebody else. Sit down at a bar and you're just somebody else. That is basically the same thing Eli's doing, except Eli's too young to go to a bar and do it,
So he just breaks into somebody's house in the middle
of
the night.
I'm not saying that that's right, but, who knows?
Well, the whole, them going into the what would be considered an abandoned house, I guess it's abandoned, model home thing. So it was pretty nice for being abandoned, just saying.
Yeah, we don't know how long ago it was abandoned or anything like that, but yeah. No, but typically model homes, because my aunt bought a house in it was a new neighborhood that was opening, and we got to look around the model home, and the model home was fully furnished, painted.
Oh yeah,
everything,
they always are. Yeah.
And it's just to show you what you could do with the house, and
It's a selling.
it stayed abandoned for a very long time while everything else was building, but they did end up selling the house to someone to live in.
That's what they
at some
do at
point,
the end.
but it's
The end,
usually
they always
the
make it-
last house. Yeah, it's the last house to go. But, yeah. But the bodies that were inside were Eddie from the motel and Mr. Branson. So, Mr. Branson was still alive. Operative word was.
For much longer. Yeah.
So.
I'm sure we will see him next episode. All burned to a crispy.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, the fire is definitely going to attract people to go to the house and whatever, and the bodies are in the tub. Porcelain does not burn, so the bodies will probably remain charred. Whatever, they're going to burn, but they're not going to turn to complete ash.
Oh no!
If they were left in the middle of a floor of a house that's surrounded, they may have at some point if the fire gets hot enough, but they're surrounded by porcelain, which doesn't burn, so they're gonna burn to the point of their.
The roof is not porcelain.
That's true.
So it's eventually going to fall. I don't know if he's going to be crispy, but he's definitely either way. He's going to die of smoke.
And they're definitely
burned
gonna
and
die.
die.
That's my point was if he was able to move, my first instinct would have been to try to turn the shower on.
Yeah. Well,
But
technically,
we don't know if he
could
could move.
You still might be able to kick the water
Well,
out.
he doesn't have it. He can't exactly turn the knob.
He's only missing one hand.
You could kick it. Like, you could kick it. Like, if you get around the dude's head, you just kick it. Kick it
Yeah.
off.
He can use the other guy. He can use the other guy's hand.
I would have tried the knob. That's just me personally. So, if maybe he does. We don't know for sure because it cut pretty quickly. We saw the shower curtain on fire. We saw some of the stuff in the bathroom on fire, but we just saw him and that was the end of it. So maybe he was smart enough and turned the tub on.
I'm gonna say the house caught fire pretty damn quickly.
It did. Well, we
And,
don't
like,
know what kind of
spread?
accelerant was used or anything like that.
The whole
I thought
house
it
had dumped in
I thought it
it.
was a dream. At first, I thought it was a dream. I'm like, or at least Emma was making it up, because all of a sudden, just everything's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But-
It went.
I thought, is Emma making this up again?
Yeah.
Possibly. But no, it looks like it's pretty real. And so apparently Eli has a criminal record.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder for what. Couldn't be breaking into people's houses or anything.
Oh, petty theft.
Yeah.
Drugs.
He doesn't
Maybe.
seem like the drug kind to me.
Drinking is still drugs.
Well,
The alcohol.
yeah.
Underage drinking.
Yes, it's a drug, but anytime it's referenced, it's drug and alcohol. Like you take drivers at drug and alcohol class. It's
Yeah.
they don't class it. It's not combined, even though it's technically a drug. So,
But
yeah,
it'll be treated different being that he's a minor.
yeah, that's true. So, I don't know. A lot of interesting stuff there. I'm rooting for Eli and Emma as opposed to Karen and Emma. But
What would their ship name be? Imai. I don't know.
You buy.
Imai.
Emma?
Ima? Ima?
No.
No. This is really hard. Both their names
That is
start
a
with
hard one.
Alima? Alima?
Lima.
Alima?
Llama. Llama.
Alama.
Llama.
Am I?
No, it's Llama now.
It's Am I?
Llama. I like llama.
But the other ship name we have to figure out is Noah and Zoe. Right? What's their ship name?
Oh
Like,
my.
Noe?
God.
Noe?
Noe.
Noe.
That I like that. Noe. It
Noe.
just sounds great.
So here's my two thought process
Zoa.
when this happened. I'm like, oh, she's the next to die. Poor Noah. Bleh.
It can't happen again.
Yeah, what about this sexy study date that, they're in bathing suits down by the lake?
And he's freaking out on the beach when he's sitting by himself. He's like, oh crap, this is I'm gonna die.
I just want to know, she clearly got him the bathing suit, right? So she's got to be a super creep and knows the exact size of the suit that he wears, because that looked pretty comfortable on him. He wasn't swimming in it or anything. It didn't look too small on him. So
It turns out they're his, and she just took them.
that would be even creepier. Just throwing that out there. But my other question is, where the fuck did they change? Did they just like take turns going to the back of the car?
That's what it seems like. Yeah, the back of the car.
Yeah. So I don't know.
She took a selfie with his phone.
Yeah, it's a little strange too.
A little surprise, you know.
Yeah.
But he was going to see her in person anyway.
Yeah. She had it all. She had this shit all planned out.
We needed an excuse for her to see Audrey call.
Right.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
Yeah. So she's super, super jealous of Audrey still, you know. And
she's a lesbian, but
that doesn't matter to her because they all hooked up at the party, you know. So as far as she's concerned, they hooked up. They're best friends. Noah kind of has a thing, and she can tell that. Whether or not Audrey does for Noah, you know, that's a whole different story. She's not concerned with that. She just knows that Noah is kind of into Audrey. She has woman's intuition. Like she knows this. So
the wrong intuition.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, if Audrey was like, Noah, I'm actually bi and I'm totally down for this, you know, then Noah, I don't think would say no. You know, so in that case, Noah is all for it, which means that Zoe does have the right to be jealous.
Yeah. But he's clearly into her.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely into Zoe as well.
Yeah.
100%. Because look at the time that he spent, number one, at the lake, you know, like a place that he does not want to be, you know, and yeah, he's kind of freaking out. He's spending the time alone while she's getting changed and all that. But it's not only that; it's what happened next, you know. And it's when he goes to the drugstore and he's trying to pick out the condoms.
God.
I'm not buying condoms. Where's the shampoo?
That is the worst. Like that is every time that I don't even want to buy stuff like that because I'm just like,
can we talk about
people gonna see me.
This old woman who works at the drugstore, she just comes up to Noah, asking about his dick size. Like, what?
I know.
Who are you? Who are you? And can you please teach my sex ed class?
See, like, at one point, it almost seemed like Noah was gonna get cold feet and walk out. So I think if that lady didn't come, he may not have gotten them. But on the other hand, when you go in for stuff like that, you kind of want a little privacy. You don't necessarily want people coming up to you, you know? Like B said, oh, I'm worried if somebody sees me. Somebody sees me, I don't care. Somebody that I know, that's a completely different story.
Okay, let's put this into perspective. So, I work at retail. And I'm sitting at customer service, and apparently last week, condoms were on sale. And someone walked up and like, oh, the condoms are on sale. I'm all like, why are you looking at me? Her face turned all red. I'm all like, I don't want anything to do with this. I'm not going to buy those at work. If I was going to buy them, you'd go away.
Okay, as someone who, and I'm going to say this over the internet, as someone who has never bought a condom, I would think, and has he bought condoms before? I don't think he has.
Well, it seems like he doesn't. It seemed like this was his first time.
This is his first time. I would imagine, you're already nervous as it is. And imagine doing your own business, trying to find your condoms, and this just old woman comes up to you asking you, are you a big boy? Like, is that the interaction you want?
No, it's definitely not. But I'm just saying, in that particular situation, like, it's kind of like not necessarily the size or anything, like, not talking about that, but anything in that field. You just want your privacy to do what you want to do with that. You don't want to have, like, the clerk coming over and be like, well, do you want to try the black one or the pink? Like, like, anybody, That's just something that you don't want to get into. Like, it's your business. You figure it out. You go to them when you're ready. That's my 2 cents anyway. So, I'm with B. I hate going into stores and stuff for that kind of stuff. But it's just like, I don't know. I don't care if somebody I knew walked in when I was buying something.
I guess I feel
Because
different.
it's not like I'm buying something that incriminates me. It's not like I'm walking into a store like that buying anal beads, you know? Because I'm not going to do that because I have no use for them. So I'm not embarrassed to go buy, you know, a pack of condoms if I need them.
You want to be safe. You got to be safe. There's, you know, the new fancy sex diseases. We don't want that.
Yeah.
I guess I feel more comfortable going to a sex store and buying them than buying them at like some regular.
Yeah, I guess because if you get caught in a sex store, you get caught and it's like you're not gonna say anything because why are you here?
Yeah,
you know.
Not just that, but I feel like I don't know. A lot of like some of the places you go like late at night, there ain't nobody in there.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a shit who's in there. They don't give a shit who else is over. Everyone keeps to herself because you know everyone else doesn't want to see someone else being like, oh, I don't know you.
I will buy my toys and I will on my way.
Exactly. You didn't see me. I'm not in a sex store.
I don't know. I had a friend work at CVS. I used to go and buy condoms from him all the time. Like, and at one point I went in like as a joke. I went in 3 times in like 2 days, and by the third time, he just looked at me and he goes, "All right, quit bragging." You know? So it was one of those situations. So I guess for me, maybe guys in general, it may just be different. It's and not even necessarily guys. It could just be your personality. It's completely different. But, you know, that whole scene, it was great. It played out amazingly. I loved it. And, you know, it plays out exactly how he's thinking it's going to play out. And he comes back to sexy time, you know? Like, gets in the bed and... You know, everything's going great, and, you know, he's...
Boom, Audrey.
Second base.
I would have threw something at Audrey. I just would have just been like, chuck something at her. Be like, what the fuck is wrong with you stupid bitch?
You gotta give...
catch a break.
You gotta give Noah the credit, though, where he's like, no, Audrey can leave. You know?
Yeah.
That was not like... Hold on, let me find out if something important happened. No, it's literally Audrey leave, you know, so he didn't have mixed priorities. His priorities were with Zoe, and that's all he cared about. And he told Audrey to leave in front of Zoe. So if Zoe has a problem with this later, that's on her. Because Noah did the exact right thing to do. She still chose to leave, you know.
Yeah, but she also pretty much said that there'd be a next time.
Yeah, for sure. And she said we'll find a more secluded place. So...
Like the back of that van.
Where Audrey can't find us.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I give Noah 100% props for doing the right thing.
I do not give Noah props because, okay, well, both Audrey and Noah, you know, I'm going to need you two to explain yourself. I have some words for both of you. Noah, there's this new invention. They're called locks. You know, maybe you should invest in them.
Good point.
And Audrey, you know, they also invented this other product. It's called a cell phone.
Hey, give Audrey a little credit on that. She tried calling Noah all day. Noah didn't pick up once, even when he wasn't with Zoe.
Shouldn't you know better, though, in that situation? You knew he was going on a date.
Yeah.
You knew that he's probably going to try to get some sexy time, and you keep calling your friend over and over again. He's not answering.
And do not barge into his house.
Do you really expect that maybe he'd get sexy time? We're under the impression that Noah's never done this before. So
he's still on a date, and he's not answering the phone.
Yes, but it's
Noah.
Noah. But it's Noah.
No, he totally can. He almost.
I
didn't
didn't say that he couldn't, but there's no previous history of this, so it's the last thing on Audrey's mind. That's my point.
Yeah.
You know.
I date him. I totally date Noah.
So, I don't know. And then, you know, Audrey. Well, I want to say first when when Noah went to go get some adult beverages. We see Zoe snooping on the laptop.
That was the weirdest shit.
What? You can't... You're not mature enough to say alcohol. Do you have any adult drinks? Don't look at adult drinks.
I think my mom... Oh, that just ruined the whole movie. But yeah, it's just like... I don't know. I get that Audrey was snooping on the computer. Not saying it's right, but I can see the justification behind wanting to snoop in that regard. Because... It's just like, okay, well, he did this thing for me. We're recording. He saved it as, you know, me and him. And it's just this cool little sound file. And it seems harmless. And it's all for fun. And then you see the same exact format file sitting on the desktop with Audrey, so you're going to be curious, right? Not saying you should do it, but I get the justification for wanting to. So
it goes back to the jealousy thing. It's the same thing. It's like, oh, look, I have my
right, exactly.
Oh,
So she clicks on it, and she clearly hears, some stuff about Piper. And the fact that she's very interested in these podcasts to begin with still does not make it shady that she sent the file to herself. It's not right, but it's not shady in the least. Because of how obsessed she's been over the podcasts and Noah. And to be honest, I think the only reason why she's with Noah in the first place is because of the podcasts. So for getting inside information, to leak out and kind of become internet famous for herself, I could see why she did it. But it's shitty. And I think that's what's going to end up hurting the Noah-Zoe relationship, is Zoe. She's going to blow it.
Noah and Riley forever. Okay.
And then she lied about where she was last year.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that wasn't a deal breaker for Noah, but when it comes to Audrey, that's going to be a deal breaker for Noah.
I think Audrey always comes first.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who it is.
And, unless it's sex with Zoe.
Yeah, that's sex, yeah.
This better be important. Somebody better have died. Wait, did somebody die?
Well.
So.
Be sensitive, Noah. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Can we get to the point that actually, you know what? When the whole fight happened with Branson on the floor, Branson was actually stabbed.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
I thought he was dead at that point. Well, I thought he died. We just didn't see.
Right.
But but I've learned from Marvel. If you don't see a body, they're not dead.
And sometimes when you do see a body, they're not dead.
Yeah.
So.
That's true.
Yeah. You guys have anything else to talk about before we go into next week's synopsis?
I love, and we saw a little bit of this last season. I love Brooke and Audrey. And the little friendship that they have, and she goes up to Audrey. She's like, "I have something to run by you. You're dark, right? But in a good way."
Yeah, because they go on a little adventure too, and they go to try to take Branson out of the handcuffs and all that, and he's gone, and then
and someone's recording them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just want to throw out there: is it possible that Brooke is involved?
What? My baby? No.
Well, it's something you don't want to believe.
I know.
But look at the facts just from this episode alone.
It'd be a crazy twist.
It would. Like, you look at it in this point of view, and it's like, okay, you looking back, it's Jake. She was close to Jake. She was in a fight with Jake. She kind of has the motive, right? And then, it was set up where she knew she was going to be, all that. The text messaging, she's not going to sit and text message herself, but if she's working with somebody as well, they could have staged this for phone record purposes, not for the audience or for herself purpose. Stage it for police phone records. Then you have, okay, she screamed when she was in the pool, and that could have just been, a frustrated thing,
I'm getting upset.
Jake's getting upset as we go.
I'm getting upset.
So when she went into the pool and just screamed, it could have just been letting frustration out other than being upset for Jake. Then we have just this episode alone. It's like, okay, in the hotel room that she had him in. Nobody else knew they were in that hotel room but Brooke. She could have had the time to clean up and all this stuff and to nag Audrey to come in as a witness for, I did this thing and I was involved in this in case it ever gets pinpointed back to me, kind of, I rented the room or whatever it was. She's got Audrey to witness, no, we went there and he was gone, so now she has an alibi. And it was her room, so she could have had a camera in there, right? And then, she knew about the whole thing with Miss Lang, so she's going to want to tie that loose end up and lure him out with that whole situation. And then the fact that she's messaging Audrey to go to the school where she knew they were going to be and to go alone, right? I'm not saying Brooke is the only person involved, but I
It's
think
impossible for Brooke to be the only one
Right.
involved because she was still driving with Audrey in the vehicle
Right.
when all of this stuff happened.
Exactly.
With Branson.
But think of we're kind of ruling Eli out. Think of Brooke and Eli, right? What if the two of them were doing something, right? Eli's in the house when it gets burned down. That could have been Brooke running outside, setting the house on fire. You know, Brooke's with Audrey going to the school. That could have been Eli in there. Unlikely. Like I said, kind of had momentum working on his side, but to throw Miss Lang over the banister like that, Eli does not seem like the kind to be able to do it, but who knows? Like I said, momentum was on his side. So, it's possible.
I don't.
You don't like it, but it's possible.
I hate it. Yeah.
And
If you're right, I'm eating this pencil.
Oh, okay. Well, keep that pencil close by.
Do you know who we didn't see this entire episode? Stavo.
Yeah. No Stavos.
Thank God.
Yeah.
I don't like Stavo.
So, I don't know. He's creepy too, so I still haven't ruled him out.
But anybody that's like obviously like creepy like that, like oh he's got the mask, it's never going to be the guy that's like so obvious. You know?
I know. I still don't like him.
Because you're sitting there the whole time. If you're not like a very in-depth person where you're like analyzing every episode like we do, being like okay let's rule all these people. You're never gonna go, okay, it's definitely him. Or like if you're just a casual person, you're gonna be like, well, it's him. He's got the mask. He's holding the mask. Like, how much more evidence do you need? So they're never ever going to do that. It's never gonna be him. So.
It really hasn't been this episode. I just know that I'm still like stuck on this whole thing with Emma's mom and freaking. Yep. There's some crazy shit going on behind the scenes we don't fucking.
There is. How many episodes did Scream have last season? It was like 12 or 13, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
no, wait, it was 10. No, it was 10, wasn't it? Wasn't it only 10?
I'm gonna look right now. But regardless, we're getting close. Mm-hmm. 10. Season 2 has 12 episodes, so we're gonna have 2 more than last season. So we are. This episode is the point of being the second half of this thing. So we still have 5 more episodes to go, kind of thing. So I don't know. It's winding down. We're getting closer, but
so I think we should make a poll. You know what? Yeah, okay. Let's say we do this. Okay, I think we should all pick our top contender for the killer. Okay, so let's see who wins at the end of the season.
Okay.
Are we doing this right now? Oh,
are we doing?
It is in writing now.
Okay, I'm just asking to clarify. Are we doing main killer or somebody involved or both?
Okay, the people who. Okay, so we're gonna go with not everyone involved. Just your number one pick for the person who has been going around killing people. Like the one who killed Jake, the one who probably chopped off Mr. Branson's hand.
But what if it's 2 people?
Okay, let's pick our top 2. Okay. If it's 2 people working together.
I'm going to go with Eli and Brooke, because everything's just lining up for that for me right now.
Okay, so Dom says Eli and Brooke. Okay, let's go with B.
I'm still stuck on, there's this character that we haven't seen. I'm still stuck on this whole side plot that's going on.
Do you want Tyler, then? Is that...
If he's involved somehow.
Okay, so Tyler
if that's his name, I don't know.
Yeah.
Tyler, okay, brother and person we haven't seen yet?
Yeah, or whatever. Yeah, because we weren't for sure if that was his name. But...
Okay. So we have 2 no names.
See, I feel like if it was ever somebody that's... Like, Tyler, I can't be upset with because he's been mentioned so many times, but if it's some completely random person that we've never even seen at this point, I feel like the whole season we were gypped. So I don't think it's ever going to be somebody we've never met.
Well, no, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's just this weird thing. I don't know. I have this feeling. There's something else, with everything else going on, there's just a side thing.
Okay. So I think this one's probably a bit far out there, but I'm going to go with Emma and Audrey.
Oh.
Because Emma was pretty adamant about Audrey not being the killer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though she should know better, that you should never cancel anybody out, especially not on this show.
Yeah.
Emma's. You know who my other person is? Emma's mom.
You know what? I think that's a given. We'll just put her under everybody's pick.
Can we just list her under the stupidest person on this show?
Okay,
Is
Emma's
that
mom.
Is that a better thing?
Okay, Emma's mom, aka stupidest person on this show.
Okay, so next week's synopsis.
I'm writing this down. This is actually in writing. I will put it on Twitter later.
Awesome. Next week's synopsis. Next week's episode is Village of the Damned, another horror movie.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
The original.
Yeah.
The original.
The Lakewood Days Carnival descends into madness. The killer forces Emma through a gauntlet, and Brooke launches an attack on the town.
Wait, Brooke launches an attack on the town?
That's what it says.
Brooke, crazy bitch. She's just walking down the street. I just imagine Brooke, you know, with like Carrie powers. It's like
Yeah, that'd be great. So, I mean,
and wait, we got a Carrie reference. She was Carrie in that one episode.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a good place to kind of do our predictions here. You know, at the halfway, a little over the halfway point. We got 5 episodes.
I did some crazy side shit. I don't even know. I didn't know.
But,
it's like whatever.
Yeah. So Jacob's gonna tweet that out later, and I mean, I guess we'll see who's right by
and if Dom is right, I am eating this pencil.
Okay.
Eat this pencil.
I don't recommend that because there's gonna be some intestinal problems with that.
I know, and I don't have another red pencil, so maybe I'll take another one.
Yeah. So, yeah, that is our show. B, where can the people find you?
On the Twitters at HUFFITY,
Excellent. Jake, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter. Tweet at me throughout the week, throughout the life at To Nowhere Land. That is TONOWHERELAND Nowhere Land Society.
Oh. And
I just made that up. Oh my god.
I like it. And YouTube? You got a YouTube? You do stuff on?
YouTube channel that I do stuff on if you are interested in a guy talking to his camera, talking about Power Rangers, Disney, and Big Brother and all that at Jacob Salazar.
Excellent. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM. You can also find us on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, and right here on YouTube at /ASO TV Podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Until next week, see you guys later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Subscribe to the Asking on TV Podcast YouTube channel and follow us on all spaces available, and that includes MySpace, Coffeespace, Parking Space, Blank Space, Spacebar, and of course, Space Opera.
What about Office Space?
Office Space, yes, that's new.
There you go.